You are dying right now and you don't even know it. Every moment you spend doing, striving, fighting, achieving, you are moving further away from the very thing you desperately seek. Your life has become a prison of your own making, and the bars are constructed from your endless activities, your constant motion, your relentless pursuit of something you believe will finally make you whole. But here is the truth that terrifies you most. You will never find it that way. Never. Listen to me carefully, because what I am about to share with you will either transform your entire existence or you will dismiss it and continue suffering for the rest of your days. You are at that age now, 45, 50, 60 years old, where you have finally accumulated enough experience to realize that something fundamental is wrong. You have achieved things, you have relationships, you have money perhaps, or you don't have money, and that torments you. You have status, or you lack it, and that haunts you. But regardless of what you have or don't have, there is this persistent emptiness that follows you like a shadow. You wake up at 3 in the morning and feel it pressing against your chest. You are successful by society's standards, or you are not, and you judge yourself mercilessly. But either way, you feel hollow. You look at your life and think, is this all there is? You have done so much, and yet you feel you have arrived nowhere. Let me paint you a picture, and I want you to be honest with yourself as I describe this. You wake up in the morning, and before your eyes are fully open, your mind is already racing. What do I need to do today? The list begins immediately. Emails, phone calls, meetings, errands, obligations, responsibilities. You haven't even left your bed and already you are exhausted. You go through your morning routine on autopilot, shower, coffee, checking your phone compulsively. Each notification, a little hook pulling you further away from yourself. You move through your day like a machine, efficient perhaps, productive maybe, but utterly disconnected from the moment you are actually living. You have conversations where you are not really present. You are thinking about the next thing, planning, strategizing, worrying. You eat lunch and barely taste it. You interact with people you care about, your children, your partner, your friends, but you are not truly there. You are somewhere else, always somewhere else. In the past, regretting, or in the future, anxious. And then night comes, you collapse into bed, exhausted. You scroll through your phone for another hour, numbing yourself, and then you sleep fitfully, and the whole cycle begins again. Does this sound familiar? Be honest. Now, here is where the fear should begin to creep in, and I want you to feel this fear because it is necessary, it is medicinal. If you continue living this way, if you continue believing that doing more, achieving more, controlling more, fixing more will somehow deliver you to happiness, you will waste whatever years you have left. Let that sink in. You will waste them. You are not 20 years old anymore with infinite time stretching before you. You are at the stage where you can see the horizon, where you understand that time is actually limited, precious, finite, and you are spending it. No, you are squandering it, chasing after things that will never satisfy you. Your ex-partner, let's talk about this, because I know this touches a nerve for many of you. Your ex-partner might right now be discovering what I am teaching you. They might stumble upon this truth this understanding that doing nothing transforms everything, and they might actually apply it. They might become radiant, peaceful, magnetic, whole. And you will still be running on your hamster wheel, exhausted, resentful, empty. They will find love again. Real love, not the neurotic need you mistake for love, but actual love born from wholeness. And you will be alone, not because you are unworthy, but because you are unavailable, too busy doing, to ever actually be present enough for real intimacy. Is this what you want? To look back at 70, 80 years old, if you are fortunate enough to reach that age, and realize you spent your entire life doing things but never actually lived, to realize that happiness was always available but you were too busy to notice. But wait, it gets worse, and I need you to understand this, because the problem is not just that you are wasting your time. The problem is that your doing is actively creating suffering. Every action you take from a place of incompleteness, from a place of lack, from a place of fear, creates more problems than it solves. You try to fix your relationship by doing more, being more attentive, more romantic, more available, but you are doing it from neediness, from fear of being alone. And your partner feels this. They feel suffocated, manipulated, controlled. You try to make more money, you work harder, longer hours, more stress, more sacrifice. And yes, perhaps your bank account grows, but your health deteriorates. Your relationships crumble. Your inner peace evaporates. You try to become more attractive. You exercise compulsively. You diet. You spend money on clothes, cosmetics, procedures. But the insecurity remains because you are trying to fix the outside when the problem is inside. You are trying to become lovable instead of realizing you already are. You are trying to become enough instead of understanding you already are. Every action born from the belief that you are insufficient creates more evidence of insufficiency. This is the trap, the vicious cycle, and you are caught in it right now. So let me escalate this fear a little more, because you need to feel the urgency of what I am saying. Right now, at this very moment, life is happening. Real life, the only life you will ever have, is occurring right now. Not tomorrow, not when you achieve your goals, not when you fix your problems, not when you find the right partner, not when you make enough money. Now, and you are missing it. You are so busy trying to get somewhere, to become someone, to achieve something, that you are missing the only thing that is actually real this moment. Your children, if you have them, are growing up, and you are not really seeing them. You are too distracted by your worries and plans. Your body is aging, and you are not inhabiting it. You are living in your head, in your thoughts, in your anxieties. Beauty surrounds you, the sky, the trees, the simple miracle of existence, and you don't see it because you are too busy. People offer you love, friendship, connection, and you are too preoccupied to receive it. And time is passing irreversibly, irrevocably, and you cannot get it back. This moment, right now, as you listen to me, will never come again. Never. And if you are not present for it, if you are lost in your thoughts about what you need to do next, you have lost it forever. How many moments have you already lost? How many hours, days, years have you spent absent from your own life? And how many more are you willing to waste before you wake up? Let me tell you something that might shock you. The person you are trying to become through all you're doing, that successful, confident, peaceful, attractive, wealthy, loved person, that person already exists within you, not as a potential, not as something you need to develop or achieve, but as your fundamental nature right now in this moment. You are already whole, you are already complete, you are already enough. The doing is not bringing you closer to this truth. The doing is obscuring it, covering it up, hiding it from your awareness. You are like someone who owns a magnificent diamond but has covered it with layers and layers of mud, and now you are frantically trying to create a diamond out of more mud. It is absurd, it is tragic, it is the fundamental human insanity. And I am here to tell you, stop. Stop covering your diamond with more mud. Stop trying to become what you already are. Stop doing and start being. Now, I know what your mind is doing right now. Your mind, that clever, tricky, survival-oriented mechanism, is already creating objections. You are thinking, but Osho, I have responsibilities, I have bills to pay, I have work to do, I cannot just do nothing. That is irresponsible, that is lazy, that is escapism. And this is exactly the misunderstanding I need to clarify, because doing nothing does not mean what you think it means. I am not telling you to quit your job, abandon your responsibilities, and sit in a cave staring at your navel. That would be just another form of doing spirituality, doing renunciation, doing escape. What I am pointing to is something far more subtle, far more profound, and far more practical. I am talking about discovering the space of stillness, of presence, of awareness that exists prior to all doing, and learning to act from that space instead of from the compulsive, neurotic, fear-based doing that currently runs your life. Let me give you a personal example, and I share this not to boast but to illustrate. When I was younger, I was extraordinarily active, speaking, writing, creating communities, engaging with thousands of people, constantly moving, constantly doing, and people would ask me, Osho, how do you have so much energy? How do you do so much? And I would tell them, because I do nothing. They thought I was being paradoxical, playing with words, being mystical, but I was being absolutely literal. In the midst of all that activity, there was a deep stillness, a profound doing nothing at the core of my being. I was not identified with the doing. I was not attached to the outcomes. I was not driven by fear or need or ambition in the neurotic sense. The actions happened, they flowed through me, but I remained untouched, still, present, empty. This is the secret. Action without the actor, doing without the doer, movement arising from stillness rather than from compulsion. Think about this for a moment. When you act from compulsion, from the belief that you must do something to become complete, to become safe, to become loved, your actions are tense, forced, exhausting. You can feel the strain in your body, the anxiety in your mind, the desperation in your energy. And other people feel it too. They feel your neediness, your manipulation, your agenda, and they pull away. But when you act from wholeness, from presence, from that space of doing nothing, your actions become effortless. graceful, powerful. You have infinite energy because you are not depleting yourself through internal conflict and resistance. You are not fighting with reality, you are flowing with it. And people are drawn to you because they feel your peace, your authenticity, your freedom. This is what makes someone truly attractive, not their physical appearance, not their wealth, not their status, but their presence, their aliveness, their freedom from neurotic need. So, how do you access this space of doing nothing? How do you transform your life from compulsive doing to conscious being? This is what I am going to teach you now, and I want you to pay very close attention because this is practical, this is applicable, this is something you can begin implementing today, right now, immediately. Not tomorrow, not when you have more time, not when circumstances are perfect. Now, the first step, and this is absolutely foundational, is to become aware of your doing. Most of your doing is unconscious, automatic, habitual. You do things without even knowing why you are doing them. You check your phone. Why? You say yes to obligations you resent. Why? You worry about things that haven't happened and may never happen. Why? You replay past conversations in your mind. Why? You plan obsessively for the future. Why? The first practice is simply to notice, to become aware, to watch yourself doing, not to judge, not to change anything yet, just to observe. Sit quietly for 10 minutes, just 10 minutes, and watch your mind. Watch how it constantly wants to do something, think something, plan something, worry about something, fantasize about something. Watch how it cannot simply be still. Watch how uncomfortable you become with stillness, how quickly you want to reach for distraction, for your phone, for food, for anything to avoid simply being present with yourself. This discomfort, this restlessness, this is the disease. This is what is driving all your compulsive doing, and you cannot heal what you're not aware of. So awareness is the first step, always. The second step is to create small islands of doing nothing in your day. I am not asking you to meditate for hours. I am not asking you to go on a retreat. I am asking you to find small moments, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, where you do absolutely nothing. You sit, you breathe, you simply exist. No phone, no book, no music, no distraction, nothing. Just you, present with yourself, present with this moment. You can do this in the morning before you start your day. You can do this during your lunch break. You can do this before bed. These small islands of stillness will begin to change your relationship with doing. They will give you a reference point, a taste of peace, a glimpse of your true nature. And gradually, you will find yourself craving these moments, seeking them out, expanding them because they feed you in a way that all your doing never has. The third step is to bring awareness into your actions. This is where doing nothing transforms everything because you begin to act consciously instead of compulsively. Before you do something, pause just for a moment and ask yourself, why am I doing this? Am I doing this from fear? Am I doing this from need? Am I doing this because I think it will make me complete, safe, loved, worthy? Or am I doing this from wholeness, from joy, from authentic desire, from love? This simple pause, this moment of awareness will transform the quality of your actions. You will begin to say no to things you previously said yes to out of obligation or fear, and you will feel liberated. You will begin to say yes to things you previously avoided out of fear or unworthiness, and you will feel alive. Your actions will become aligned with your truth rather than with your conditioning, with your neurosis, with your fear. Let me give you a concrete example, because I know some of you are thinking, this sounds nice, Osho, but how does this apply to my actual life, to my relationship problems, to my money problems, to my self-esteem problems? Let us talk about relationships first, because this is where people suffer the most. You want love, you want connection, you want intimacy, but you are going about it all wrong. You are trying to do things to make someone love you, to make someone stay with you, to make someone choose you. You are trying to be more attractive, more interesting, more accommodating, more perfect. And all of this doing is actually pushing love away, because love cannot be earned, love cannot be achieved, love can only be received. And you can only receive it when you are present, when you are open, when you are not desperately grasping for it. When you stop doing, when you stop trying to manipulate the outcome, when you simply show up as you are, present, authentic, vulnerable, without agenda, without neediness, without the desperate attempt to get something, that is when real love becomes possible. Not because you did something to deserve it, but because you created the space for it by your very being. I will tell you a story, and this is true. I knew a woman. She was about 55 years old, divorced, convinced she was too old, too damaged, too unworthy to ever find love again. She spent years trying online dating, social events, makeovers, self-improvement programs, therapy, reading books, doing, and she remained alone, bitter, resentful, feeling like a failure. Then something shifted. She stopped. She gave up, not in despair, but in a kind of surrender. She stopped trying to find love and started simply living, being present with her life, with her friends, with her work, with herself. She started taking walks and actually seeing the trees. She started having conversations and actually listening. She started doing things she enjoyed, not to meet someone, but because they brought her joy. She stopped performing, stopped strategizing, stopped trying. And within 6 months, she met someone not through effort, not through doing, but through being, through presence, through the natural magnetism of someone who is actually alive, actually present, actually whole. This is not a fairy tale. This is how it works. This is the law. The universe responds to your being, not to your doing. Now, let us talk about money, because I know this is a source of tremendous anxiety for many of you. You believe you need to do more to make more money, work harder, work longer, hustle, grind, sacrifice, struggle. And yes, action is required. I am not denying that. But the quality of your action determines the quality of your results. When you act from fear, from scarcity, from the belief that you are not enough and you do not have enough, you create more scarcity, you make poor decisions, you repel opportunities, you exhaust yourself. When you act from abundance, from trust, from the space of doing nothing, your actions become inspired, creative, effortless, and effective. You see opportunities you previously missed because you were too anxious to notice them. You make connections with people because you are actually present with them rather than networking with an agenda. You create value because you are tapped into your authentic gifts rather than forcing yourself to do what you think you should do. Doing nothing does not mean doing nothing about money. It means releasing the fear based, scarcity driven, compulsive doing and accessing inspired, creative, abundant action. And self esteem, let us address this directly because this is the root of so much suffering. You believe you need to do things to become worthy, to become lovable, to become enough. You need to achieve, to improve, to fix yourself, to become different from what you are. And every moment you spend trying to become worthy is a moment you are affirming your current unworthiness. You are reinforcing the very belief that is causing your suffering. Self-esteem is not something you build through doing. Self-esteem is something you discover through being, through recognizing your inherent worth, your fundamental okayness, your already existing completeness. When you stop doing, when you sit in stillness and simply exist, you begin to realize, I am here, I am alive, I am aware, and that is enough. That is everything. That is the miracle. You do not need to earn your existence. You do not need to justify your presence. You are already worthy by virtue of being. Now, I want to address something important because some of you are thinking, Osho, I have tried meditation. I have tried being present. I have tried doing nothing and it did not work. Nothing changed. I am still suffering. And I will tell you why. Because you were doing nothing. You were making it another achievement, another task on your list, another thing to do to become complete. You were meditating to get somewhere, to achieve peace, to become enlightened, to fix yourself. And that is not doing nothing. That is doing something with a goal, with an agenda, with a future orientation. True doing nothing has no goal, no agenda, no future. It is simply being present with what is right now, exactly as it is, without trying to change it, without trying to improve it, without trying to get anywhere. It is radical acceptance, radical presence, radical surrender to this moment. Let me be very clear about what surrender means because this word is often misunderstood. Surrender does not mean giving up. It does not mean becoming passive. It does not mean accepting abuse or injustice or suffering. It means stopping your internal resistance to what is. It means acknowledging reality as it is rather than fighting with it, wishing it were different, denying it, avoiding it. When you surrender to what is, you access tremendous power because you are no longer wasting energy in resistance, in denial, in wishful thinking. You see clearly, you accept fully, and from that acceptance, appropriate action arises naturally, not from compulsion, not from fear, but from clarity, from wisdom, from presence. I want you to try something right now, and I mean right now as you listen to me. Stop whatever else you are doing. If you are driving, well, keep driving, but bring your full attention to this moment. If you are walking, keep walking, but be present. If you are sitting, just sit. Take a deep breath. Feel the air entering your lungs. Feel your chest expanding. Feel the life force moving through your body. Now exhale. Feel the release, the letting go, the surrender. Do this 3 times. Breathe in, breathe out. And with each exhale, let go of something. Let go of your worries. Let go of your plans. Let go of your past. Let go of your future. Let go of your identity. Let go of everything and just be here, now, present, alive, aware. This is doing nothing. This is the space I am pointing to. This is the source of all transformation. How do you feel right now? Do you notice a subtle shift, a slight relaxation, a glimpse of peace? This is always available, always accessible. You just forget. You get lost in your doing, in your thinking, in your worrying, and you forget that this is here, waiting for you, welcoming you home. Now, let me give you a practical framework, a step-by-step approach to integrating doing nothing into your life in a way that actually transforms everything. I am going to give you specific practices, specific techniques, specific ways of being that you can implement immediately. And I want you to understand these are not things to do to achieve some future state. These are ways of being present with what is right now. And that presence is the transformation, not something that comes later, but now. Practice number 1, the morning stillness practice. Before you do anything in the morning, before you check your phone, before you think about your day, before you engage with the world, sit in stillness for 10 minutes. Just sit, breathe, be present. Your mind will race. It will create lists. It will worry. It will plan. Let it. Do not fight it. Just observe it. Watch it like you would watch clouds passing in the sky. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness, observing the thoughts. This simple practice, done consistently every morning, will begin to create a foundation of stillness in your life, a reference point of peace that you can return to throughout the day. It will change everything because you will begin your day from being rather than from doing, and that will influence everything that follows. Practice number 2, the conscious pause. Throughout your day, pause, set a timer if you need to, every hour or every 2 hours, just pause for 30 seconds. Stop whatever you are doing. Take a breath, come back to the present moment. Feel your body, notice your surroundings, check in with yourself. Am I present or am I lost in thought? Am I tense or am I relaxed? Am I acting from fear or from love? This simple pause interrupts the momentum of compulsive doing. It brings you back to awareness. It gives you choice. It creates space between stimulus and response. And in that space is your freedom, your power, your transformation. Practice number 3, single tasking. We live in a culture that glorifies multitasking, doing many things at once, being efficient, being productive, and this is killing your presence, killing your peace, killing your effectiveness. When you do multiple things at once, you are fully present with none of them. You are scattered, fragmented, exhausted. Instead, do one thing at a time and do it with full presence, full attention, full awareness. If you are eating, just eat, taste your food, feel the textures, notice the flavors, be present with the act of nourishing your body. If you are talking to someone, just talk, listen fully, be present with them. Give them your complete attention, not half your attention, while the other half is on your phone or on your thoughts. If you are working, just work, focus on the task at hand, be present with it, give it your full energy. This is doing nothing in the midst of doing. This is action arising from stillness. This is how doing transforms from exhausting compulsion to effortless flow. Practice number 4, conscious consumption. Notice what you consume, not just food, but information, entertainment, social media, news, conversations. Most of what you consume is junk. It is toxic. It is feeding your anxiety, your comparison, your dissatisfaction, your compulsive doing. Become very selective, very conscious about what you allow into your mind, into your awareness. Ask yourself, does this feed my peace or does it feed my anxiety? Does this connect me to my truth or does it disconnect me from myself? Does this inspire me or does it deplete me? And based on your honest answers, choose consciously, say no to what depletes you, say yes to what nourishes you. This might mean drastically reducing your social media consumption. It might mean stopping watching the news. It might mean ending certain relationships or conversations that are toxic. This is not avoidance. This is conscious choice. This is taking responsibility for your inner state. Practice number 5, embrace boredom. This is a radical practice in our culture of constant stimulation and distraction. We have become terrified of boredom. We cannot tolerate even a moment of emptiness, of stillness, of nothing happening. The moment we feel bored, we reach for our phone. We turn on the TV, we eat, we do something, anything to avoid the discomfort of boredom. But boredom is actually a doorway. It is an invitation to go deeper, to discover what is beneath the constant stimulation, to meet yourself in the silence. So practice boredom. Deliberately create moments where nothing is happening, where you are not stimulated, not entertained, not distracted, and instead of running from the discomfort, sit with it, feel it, explore it. You will discover that beneath the boredom is aliveness, is presence, is peace, is your true nature. But you have to be willing to go through the discomfort to discover what is on the other side. Practice number 6, nature immersion. Spend time in nature, not doing nature, not hiking with your headphones on, listening to podcasts, not taking photos for social media, but actually being in nature, present with nature, allowing nature to teach you about doing nothing. Watch a tree, it does nothing. It simply stands, grows, exists, and it is magnificent, it is perfect, it is complete. Watch a river, it flows effortlessly, it does not struggle, it does not resist, it simply moves with gravity, with the natural law, and it carves canyons, it nourishes life, it transforms landscapes. Watch the sky, the clouds, the birds, the animals. They are not doing, they are being. They are living in harmony with existence, with the present moment, with what is. Nature is a mirror. It reflects back to you your true nature, which is also stillness, presence, effortless being. Spend time with this mirror. Let it remind you of who you really are beneath all your doing, beneath all your striving, beneath all your fear. Practice number 7, conscious relationships. Transform your relationships from doing to being. Stop trying to get something from your relationships. Stop trying to fix people. Stop trying to change people. Stop trying to make people love you, choose you, validate you. Instead, simply be present with people. Listen to them, see them, accept them as they are. Love them without agenda, without neediness, without trying to get anything in return. This is radical. This is transformative because most relationships are transactional. People are using each other to fill their emptiness, to validate their worth, to avoid their loneliness. When you stop doing relationships and start being in relationships, everything changes. Intimacy becomes possible, real connection becomes possible, love becomes possible. And paradoxically, when you stop trying to get love, you receive more love than you ever imagined possible, because people feel safe with you, they feel seen by you, they feel accepted by you, and that is what everyone is desperately seeking. Let me address a question that I know is arising in many of your minds right now. You are thinking, Osho, this all sounds beautiful, but I have real problems. I have bills to pay. I have responsibilities. I have conflicts. I have pain. How does doing nothing solve these real practical problems? And this is the crucial point. Doing nothing does not mean ignoring your problems. It means approaching your problems from a completely different state of consciousness. When you act from compulsive doing, from fear, from anxiety, from the belief that you must fix everything right now or disaster will strike, you make poor decisions. You create more problems. You exhaust yourself. When you act from the space of doing nothing, from stillness, from presence, from trust, you see solutions you previously could not see. You access creativity you did not know you had. You make wise decisions. You take effective action. The problems do not disappear, but your relationship to them transforms, and that transformation is everything. I will give you an example from my own life. There was a time when I faced tremendous external pressure, legal problems, health problems, organizational problems, all happening simultaneously. If I had acted from fear, from compulsion, from the need to control and fix everything, I would have been destroyed. I would have made terrible decisions. I would have created more suffering. Instead, I did nothing, not in the sense of ignoring the problems, but in the sense of remaining still at my core, present, watchful, trusting. And from that stillness, appropriate action arose, not forced, not frantic, but clear, decisive, effective. Some problems resolved themselves without my interference. Some problems required action, and that action came naturally, effortlessly, at the right time, in the right way. And through it all, I remained at peace, not because the circumstances were peaceful, but because I was rooted in the space of doing nothing, in the space of being, in the space of presence. This is the power I am offering you, not the power to control your circumstances, not the power to force outcomes, but the power to remain centered, present, peaceful regardless of circumstances. And from that centeredness to act wisely, effectively, appropriately. This is true power. This is real freedom. This is what transforms everything. Now, let me talk about success, because I know many of you are concerned with success, with achievement, with making your mark, with creating something significant. And you believe that doing nothing is the opposite of success, that it means giving up ambition, giving up goals, giving up achievement. This is a misunderstanding. Doing nothing does not mean having no goals. It means not being attached to goals, not deriving your worth from achieving goals, not believing that you will finally be complete when you achieve your goals. It means acting from inspiration rather than from desperation, from joy rather than from fear, from wholeness rather than from lack. And here is the paradox. When you act from this space, you become far more successful, not less, because your energy is not depleted by internal conflict and resistance, because you are tapped into your authentic creativity and gifts, because you are present enough to see opportunities and make wise decisions, because people are attracted to your energy and want to support you, collaborate with you, be around you. I have seen this again and again. People who are desperately striving for success, working themselves to exhaustion, sacrificing everything, and they remain mediocre, stuck, frustrated. And then I have seen people who act from presence, from joy, from the space of doing nothing, and they create extraordinary things. They achieve remarkable success. They impact thousands or millions of people, but they do it effortlessly, joyfully, without the suffering, without the sacrifice, without the exhaustion. This is the way, this is the secret. Success arising from being rather than from doing. Achievement arising from wholeness rather than from lack. Let me give you another practical technique. And this one is specifically for those of you who struggle with anxiety, with worry, with the constant mental chatter that exhausts you and steals your peace. It is called the witness practice, and it is simple but profound. Whenever you notice yourself caught in worry, in anxiety, in mental loops, instead of trying to stop the thoughts, instead of fighting with your mind, simply step back and witness. Become the observer of your thoughts rather than the thinker of your thoughts. Watch your mind like you would watch a movie, with interest, with curiosity, but without identification, without believing that you are the thoughts. Say to yourself, there is a thought about money, there is a thought about my ex, there is a thought about my future, there is a thought about my worth. Notice how when you witness the thoughts, when you observe them, they lose their power, they lose their grip, they begin to dissolve. You create space between yourself and your thoughts. And in that space is freedom, is peace, is the recognition that you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness in which thoughts arise and dissolve. This practice alone, done consistently, will transform your experience of life. Because most of your suffering is not caused by your circumstances. It is caused by your thoughts about your circumstances, by your stories, by your interpretations, by your judgments. When you learn to witness your thoughts rather than believe them, rather than identify with them, you access a dimension of peace that is always present, always available, regardless of what is happening in your external life. Now, I want to talk about something that might be uncomfortable for some of you, but it is necessary. Many of you are addicted to doing, addicted to suffering, addicted to drama, addicted to problems. You say you want peace, you say you want happiness, you say you want transformation, but unconsciously you are invested in your suffering because it gives you identity. It gives you something to do. It gives you a sense of importance. It gives you a reason to avoid the deeper existential questions. If you are constantly busy fixing your problems, constantly busy improving yourself, constantly busy striving for something, you do not have to face the fundamental questions. Who am I? What is the meaning of my existence? What happens when I die? You do not have to face the void, the emptiness, the groundlessness of existence. Your doing is a defense mechanism. It is a way of avoiding the deeper encounter with yourself, with life, with death, with the mystery. And this is why doing nothing is so threatening, so uncomfortable, so difficult. It strips away your defenses, it removes your distractions, it forces you to face what you have been avoiding: yourself, your emptiness, your fear, your mortality. But here is the beautiful, paradoxical truth. When you actually face the emptiness, when you actually sit with it, when you actually allow yourself to experience it fully without running, without distracting, without doing, you discover that it is not empty at all. It is full, full of presence, full of aliveness, full of peace, full of love. The emptiness you fear is actually the fullness you seek. But you have to stop running to discover it. You have to stop doing to experience it. You have to surrender to it. This is the spiritual dimension of what I am teaching. And I know some of you are uncomfortable with spirituality. You think it is woo-woo. You think it is impractical. You think it is escapism. But spirituality, real spirituality, not the religious dogma, not the new age fantasies, but the direct experience of your true nature, is the most practical thing there is, because it addresses the root of all your suffering, your belief that you are separate, incomplete, insufficient. When you discover through direct experience, through doing nothing, through presence, through meditation, that you are not separate, that you are not your thoughts, that you are not your story, that you are the infinite awareness in which all experience arises, everything transforms. Not because your circumstances change, but because your relationship to your circumstances transforms, because you are no longer identified with them, no longer defined by them, no longer controlled by them. You are free, and from that freedom you live, you love, you create, you act, but without the suffering, without the desperation, without the compulsion. This is enlightenment, and it is not some distant goal that requires years of practice and renunciation. It is available right now, in this moment, when you stop doing and simply be, when you stop trying to become and simply are, when you stop seeking and simply rest in what is. Let me share with you one more practice, and this one is specifically for cultivating self-love, self-acceptance, self-worth, because I know this is where many of you struggle. It is called the loving presence practice. Every day, preferably in the morning or before bed, sit quietly and place your hand on your heart. Feel the warmth of your hand. Feel your heartbeat. Feel the life force pulsing through your body. And then speak to yourself, not with your usual critical, judgmental, harsh voice, but with the voice of a loving parent, a dear friend, a compassionate teacher. Say to yourself, I love you. I accept you exactly as you are. You are enough. You are worthy. You are lovable. You do not need to do anything to earn my love. You do not need to be different. You do not need to be better. I love you now, completely, unconditionally. Say this to yourself and mean it. Feel it. Allow it to penetrate. Allow it to soften the hardness. Allow it to melt the resistance. Do this every day and watch how your relationship with yourself transforms. Watch how your self-esteem grows, not from doing, but from being, from presence, from love. This practice might feel awkward at first. You might feel resistance. You might hear your critical voice saying, this is stupid, this is narcissistic, this is self-indulgent. That is just your conditioning. That is the voice of your inner critic, the voice that has been keeping you small, keeping you suffering, keeping you striving. Thank that voice for trying to protect you, and then gently return to the practice, return to the love, return to the acceptance. Over time, this practice will rewire your brain. It will create new neural pathways. It will replace the old programming of unworthiness with a new experience of inherent worth, of unconditional self-love. Now, let me address those of you who have been through trauma, who have experienced significant pain, loss, betrayal, abuse. You might be thinking, Osho, you do not understand. My pain is real. My suffering is not just mental. It is not just thoughts. It is in my body. It is in my nervous system. How does doing nothing help with that? And I want to acknowledge, yes, your pain is real. Your trauma is real. And I am not minimizing it. I am not suggesting you just think positive thoughts and it will go away. But I am saying that doing nothing, presence, stillness, is actually the most powerful tool for healing trauma. Because trauma lives in the body, it lives in the nervous system, and it cannot be healed through thinking, through analyzing, through understanding. It can only be healed through presence, through feeling, through allowing the sensations and emotions to move through you without resistance, without judgment, without story. When you sit in stillness and allow yourself to feel what you have been avoiding, when you bring gentle, loving awareness to the pain, to the fear, to the shame, something miraculous happens. It begins to dissolve, it begins to release, it begins to heal. Not because you did something to fix it, but because you gave it space, you gave it permission to be. You stopped fighting with it, you stopped trying to make it go away. This is the healing power of doing nothing, of presence, of acceptance. And yes, you might need support, you might need therapy, you might need guidance, but the fundamental healing happens in the stillness, in the presence, in the doing nothing. I want to talk now about death, because this is the ultimate fear that drives all your doing, all your striving, all your grasping. You are afraid of death, afraid of non-existence, afraid of losing yourself, and so you try to create a solid identity, a permanent self through your achievements, your relationships, your possessions, your status. You try to become someone significant, someone important, someone who will be remembered, someone who matters, because you believe this will protect you from death, from insignificance, from the void. But it will not, nothing will. Death is certain, it is coming, and no amount of doing will prevent it. No amount of achievement will save you from it. But here is the liberating truth. When you stop doing, when you rest in presence, when you discover your true nature as awareness, as consciousness, as the space in which all experience arises, you realize that what you truly are cannot die, because it was never born. It is eternal, it is infinite, it is beyond time, beyond form, beyond death. Your body will die, your personality will dissolve, your story will end, but the awareness that you are, the consciousness that is reading these words right now, that is eternal, that is immortal, that is what you truly are. And when you realize this, not intellectually, not philosophically, but experientially, through direct recognition, the fear of death dissolves, and with it, the compulsive need to do, to become, to achieve, to matter. You are already eternal. You are already infinite. You are already everything, and doing nothing reveals this truth. Presence reveals this truth. Stillness reveals this truth. This is why the great spiritual masters throughout history, the Buddhas, the Christs, the Krishnas, the Lao Tzus, they all taught the same essential message. Stop, be still, know yourself, discover your true nature. Not through doing, not through becoming, not through achieving, but through being, through presence, through the simple recognition of what you already are. This is the ultimate transformation. This is what doing nothing reveals. This is the truth that sets you free. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Osho, I understand what you are saying intellectually. It makes sense, it resonates, but I do not know how to actually do it. I do not know how to stop doing. I do not know how to be present. I have tried and I fail. My mind is too busy. My life is too demanding. I cannot do this. And I want to tell you, this is normal. This is part of the process. You have been conditioned your entire life to do, to strive, to achieve, to become. You cannot simply flip a switch and suddenly be present, suddenly be still, suddenly do nothing. It is a practice, it is a gradual unfolding, it is a journey, and you will stumble, you will forget, you will get caught up in your doing again and again and again. This is not failure, this is the process. This is how transformation happens, gradually, imperfectly, through consistent practice and gentle persistence. The key is not to judge yourself, not to make your inability to be present into another problem, into another thing you need to fix, into another way you are failing. Instead, simply notice, oh, I got lost in doing again. I got caught up in my thoughts again. I forgot to be present again. And then gently, lovingly, without judgment, return to presence, return to stillness, return to now. Again and again and again. This is the practice. This is the path. This is how doing nothing transforms everything. Not through one dramatic moment of enlightenment, but through thousands of small moments of returning, of remembering, of coming back home to yourself, to presence, to now. Let me give you a very practical daily structure that integrates everything I have been teaching. You wake up in the morning, and before you do anything, before you check your phone, before you think about your day, you sit in stillness for 10 minutes. You breathe, you be present, you do nothing. This sets the foundation for your day. This roots you in being rather than doing. Then, as you go through your day, you pause every hour or two, just for 30 seconds. You breathe, you check in, you come back to presence. You notice if you are acting from fear or from love, from compulsion or from choice. You practice single tasking. You give your full attention to whatever you are doing. You do one thing at a time with presence. You are conscious about what you consume. You protect your inner space. You say no to what depletes you. You say yes to what nourishes you. You spend some time in nature if possible. Even if it is just sitting in a park for 10 minutes, you allow nature to remind you of your true nature. You practice conscious relationships. You are present with people. You listen, you see them, you love without agenda. And then, before bed, you do the loving presence practice. You place your hand on your heart. You speak to yourself with love, with acceptance, with compassion. This daily structure, practiced consistently, will transform your life. Not because you are doing a lot, but because You are being a lot. You are present. You are conscious. You are awake. And here is what will happen. Gradually, over time, you will notice changes, subtle at first, then more pronounced. You will feel less anxious, less stressed, less overwhelmed. You will have more energy, not because you are doing less, but because you are not depleting yourself through internal conflict and resistance. You will make better decisions. You will see opportunities you previously missed. You will act more effectively. Your relationships will improve. People will feel your presence. They will be drawn to you. They will trust you. They will open to you. Your health will improve because stress is the root of most illness, and you are releasing stress through presence, through doing nothing. You will feel more alive, more joyful, more peaceful, not because your circumstances have necessarily changed, but because your relationship to your circumstances has transformed. You will discover a sense of completeness, of wholeness, of sufficiency that is not dependent on anything external, not dependent on achievement, not dependent on relationships, not dependent on money, not dependent on status. You will be free, truly free, and from that freedom, you will live, you will love, you will create, you will contribute. But without the suffering, without the desperation, without the compulsion that has driven your life until now. This is not a promise of perfection. This is not a promise that you will never experience pain or challenge or difficulty. Life will continue to bring challenges. That is the nature of life. But you will meet those challenges from a completely different space, from presence, from stillness, from the unshakable ground of your true nature. And that makes all the difference. That transforms everything. Now let me address something that might be arising for some of you, a sense of sadness, perhaps even grief, as you begin to recognize how much of your life you have spent doing, striving, achieving, missing the present moment, missing your actual life. You might be thinking, I have wasted so much time. I have missed so much. It is too late for me. And I want to tell you, no, it is not too late. It is never too late. This moment right now is the only moment that matters. This moment right now is the only moment you have. And in this moment, transformation is possible. Presence is possible. Freedom is possible. Do not waste this moment regretting the past. Do not waste this moment worrying about the future. Be here now, fully, completely, and that is enough. That is everything. I have seen people transform at 70, at 80, at 90 years old. I have seen people on their deathbed discover presence, discover peace, discover the truth of who they are, and die in grace, in acceptance, in love. Oh, it is never too late. The opportunity is always now, always available, always waiting for you to stop, to be still, to come home to yourself. So, if you are feeling grief about the time you believe you have wasted, feel it, allow it, be present with it, and then let it go, release it, and return to now. Return to presence. Return to the only moment that actually exists. Let me share with you one of the most profound paradoxes of this teaching. And this is something that confuses people, frustrates people, but it is essential to understand. The more you try to do nothing, the more you are doing. The more you try to be present, the more you are not present. Because trying is doing, effort is doing, striving is doing. True doing nothing, true presence, true being is effortless. It is natural, it is what remains, when you stop trying, when you stop efforting, when you stop doing. So how do you access it? You cannot access it through effort. You can only allow it. You can only surrender into it. You can only recognize that it is already here, already present, already what you are. You do not need to create presence. You need to stop creating absence. You do not need to achieve peace. You need to stop creating disturbance. You do not need to become whole. You need to stop believing you are broken. This is why I say doing nothing transforms everything. Not because doing nothing is another technique, another method, another thing to do, but because doing nothing is the recognition that you are already what you seek. You are already complete. You are already whole. You are already home. And when that recognition dawns, not as a thought, not as a belief, but as a direct experience, everything transforms. Not because anything changes, but because you see clearly for the first time. You see that you were always free, you were always complete, you were always enough, and all you're doing was just a dream, a nightmare from which you are now awakening. So here is my final instruction, my ultimate teaching. Stop. Right now, stop. Stop reading for a moment. Stop thinking, stop planning, stop worrying, stop doing, and simply be. Feel your body, feel your breath, feel the aliveness that is here right now. Notice that you are aware. Notice that you exist. Notice that you are present. This awareness, this existence, this presence, this is what you are. This is your true nature. This is the source of all peace, all love, all joy, all freedom. You do not need to do anything to access it. You do not need to become anything to deserve it. You do not need to achieve anything to earn it. It is already here. Already what you are, already freely available. Just stop and notice. Just be still and recognize. Just do nothing and discover everything. This is my gift to you. This is my teaching. This is my invitation. Not to do more, not to become more, not to achieve more, but to stop, to be still, to do nothing. And in that nothing, to discover everything, to discover yourself, to discover peace, to discover love, to discover freedom, to discover that you are already home. You were always home. You just forgot. And now you are remembering. And as you go forward from this moment, as you return to your life, to your responsibilities, to your relationships, to your challenges, remember this. You are not your story. You are not your thoughts. You are not your achievements. You are not your failures. You are not your past. You are not your future. You are the awareness in which all of this arises. You are the presence that is here now. You are the stillness at the center of all movement. You are the space of doing nothing from which everything emerges. Rest in this. Return to this. Remember this again and again and again, and watch how everything transforms, not through doing, but through being, not through effort, but through surrender, not through becoming, but through recognizing what you already are. This is the end of my teaching, but it is the beginning of your discovery, the beginning of your transformation, the beginning of your freedom. Go now, not to do, but to be, not to achieve, but to rest, not to become, but to recognize. And know that I am with you, not as a person, not as a teacher, not as an authority, but as the same awareness that you are. as the same presence that is here now, as the same stillness that pervades all existence. We are one. We have always been one. And in the space of doing nothing, you will discover this truth. You will live this truth. And that, my friend, is the ultimate transformation.